guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Shelby and I'm a mom of two little boys. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, it is tips on how to ease in a new sibling. We had to try a lot of these with Logan because he was not keen on his little brother at all by any means. The first 2 weeks were probably the hardest, but a couple of these techniques definitely did help. So I hope they can help all of you second time mums out there. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the first tip is talk to them as soon as you're comfortable. For a lot of people, obviously that is when you get to about the 12-week mark of your pregnancy. We did as soon as we could because we knew that with Logan being the baby for so long that we needed to tell him as soon as possible so that he had time to adjust and we could try and get it in his head as best we could before he arrived. We didn't want it to be a massive surprise, so we told him as soon as we were able to, basically, just so you've at least planted the seed and they'll get used to it eventually. When you're talking about the baby, they're not going to be confused. And the next thing is get them excited by buying them a little book or something that's going to explain that they're going to be a new big brother or sister. For us, that was the Pirate Pete book, I'm Going to Be a New Big Brother. They have a few in the series that are aimed for boys and girls that are to do with starting nursery and potty training. I'll bring that up a little bit later. But they are really, really good books. So they've got like a little music, not a music, sorry. They've got a little button that plays like a baby noise and things that you have to press at certain times, and it definitely helped. It did, again, just plant the seed so that he knew things were going to be changing. There was going to be another little person in the house. It definitely helped slowly get him used to it, I suppose. And the next thing is make sure everyone isn't just talking about the baby or just fussing over the new baby. This will be very apparent the first couple of weeks when you bring the new baby home. This is where jealousy definitely kicks in for older siblings, and we made sure that once Roman arrived, that as soon as people came into the house to come and see the baby, that they would make a fuss of Logan first so that he didn't feel like he was being pushed out. And it definitely reinforced the fact that things weren't changing too much for, obviously it is a big change, but that his position wasn't changing in the house and that everyone still loved him as much as the new baby. And the next thing is get them involved as much as possible by letting them pick things to go in their room, into their nursery, or little toys and things, or even letting them help pick the name if they're old enough. We definitely did this with Logan. We got him to help pick little clothes for him and little toys, and we were asking him about the names that we liked and seeing which one he liked. I mean, obviously he was quite young at the time, so he didn't really understand what we were talking about, but at least if he can physically touch something and hold something, it was a lot easier. So definitely get them to help as much as possible, just because if you keep them involved, they're not going to feel like they're being pushed out as much and that they're not being involved in decisions. I know that with Logan, he's quite independent, so he likes to be in, and he likes to be in the know with things. So at least if we could give him the choice of something, it definitely benefits him and he feels like he's a little bit in charge. And the next thing is, if they're not already, get them potty trained. Trust me, it will be the best thing you've ever done. Me and Sean we were petrified about potty training Logan. We weren't sure if it was too early. He wasn't really showing that many signs. The best time is to wait until they are ready, or at least showing signs. Whereas Logan wasn't really that bothered, but he's always been very laid back and very chilled. So we knew we kind of had to coax him into doing it. We didn't want to have to change 2 nappies at the same time. He is still in nighttime nappies at the moment, and we're keeping that going for a little bit longer, just so, because we've just moved house as well, so we want him to be comfortable. But definitely consider potty training your child, your eldest child, before your youngest arrives. Trust me, it will just save you so much aggravation and you'll definitely benefit from it. And it's less cost as well, less cost on nappies. And the next thing is get them a present from the new baby to their older sibling. We did this with Logan as well, and it did help build the bond a little bit, especially if it's something that he really, really wanted. He'd not long had his birthday. His birthday was in July and I was due to give birth in September. So because we knew that he'd got quite a lot of toys for his birthday. At least we knew what he did and didn't have. Like, he loves Paw Patrol, that's one of his favourite things, and he didn't have a tracker. So we knew that if we got him that, he would love it, and hopefully that meant that he would love Roman at the same time. So we made sure that we got that, did it, and got it wrapped really, really early, just in case anything did happen. It's definitely a good idea, just because if you think that your child's going to be slightly difficult with the new baby, at least that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. And the next thing is, make sure you have a plan for them when you go into labour, and make sure that they're aware of the plan. I have mentioned this in another video, things I wish I knew before getting pregnant or before giving birth, or it was just a helpful tip. They definitely, well, especially with Logan, he likes to know what's going on, and he definitely gets excited when he goes to nannies, aunties, uncles, things like that. So sure that he knew where he was going to be at what time, and it was just a less stress for me to worry about. I knew that I didn't have to worry about him and that he was completely taken care of. He ended up staying at his uncle's at the time when we went into labour with Roman. He loved that because he rarely ever stops over at his uncle's house, but we knew he would love it, and he got really excited about it. And the next thing is, try not to be holding your new baby when your eldest child comes back to the house. We definitely failed at this because it was just really awkward timing. We weren't sure exactly when Logan was going to be coming home, and he walked in as I was holding Roman because he'd just woken up and he needed to feed. So it was completely bad timing, and it didn't help. I think for the first 2 weeks, it definitely didn't help him at all, because he saw mommy holding this other baby, and I think that's when the awkwardness kind of started and a bit of the jealousy kind of started. So I would recommend not holding the baby and letting them sit either in their little chair or basket or something, and then introduce them slowly that way, just because, like I said, it didn't help Logan, especially if they're quite close. If they're really, really close, that they're really clingy with a certain parent or with both of their parents. We knew that it wouldn't help either if Sean was holding him or if I was holding him. We knew that because he sees us as that's his mummy and daddy, that he needed to be able to just approach him himself. And obviously it completely failed. So I would definitely recommend doing that for your own child. And the next thing, which I think is probably the most important, is let them approach when they are ready. You can't force relationships, unfortunately. Yes, they're family and they're brothers, and or brothers and sisters, they will eventually love each other, but you can't force them to give them hugs and kisses, because it's just not going to work. We definitely let Logan lead us when it came to him coming closer to Roman and things like that. We didn't want to force anything. We didn't want it, because then we thought it was just going to make him push away even further. We'd still ask him every day if he wanted to give him a little kiss or a little cuddle, or he wanted to hold him or anything like that. Still keep asking them, but don't try and force them or make them feel bad for not giving them a kiss or a cuddle, because every kid is different. Some kids will completely embrace their sibling, others really, really won't. And unfortunately, Logan was that child for the first 2 weeks. He didn't want anything to do with his little brother at all. But eventually we got there, and he absolutely adores him now. And I think that tip of letting him control when he can approach or when he wanted to approach was the best thing for it. And the next thing, it goes without saying, but praise your child for any little tiny thing that they do to help you with the new baby, whether that is taking a nappy to the bin, or handing you a pack of wipes, or bringing the muslin to wipe up the dribble or a bit of sick up. Little things like that, just praise them so much, shower them with it, because it will definitely help them with their relationship with their little brother or sister, because they're the oldest. They want to be the big boy or girl. That's what they want when it comes to having a little sibling. Most parents should praise their children anyway, but I definitely praise more often than you would normally for any little tiny thing. And my final tip for you guys is, make sure you reserve special time for just your eldest child, whether that be when your new baby is sleeping. That's probably the best time. I know that at that time you're probably going to want to nap or get other work done, get like little house jobs done. I would leave all that for the time being, because your house is going to be a mess anyway. You've got a newborn child and it is totally fine. It does not matter. But reserve that time for your eldest child. Just do something that they love to do, whether that's reading books or drawing, painting. We did this with Logan and we're trying to do it a bit more as Roman's getting older, and just because obviously he's not going to nap as much in the day. So definitely make as much time as possible for them out of the day, just so they feel really, really special and it's just their time with their mummy and daddy. So that is it from me. Someone came to join me right at the end of the video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope they did help you, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.